They say snakes are venomous, but what if I told you the real poison isn't the snake itself, it's the hand that feeds it? Picture this: a man dressed in a clown's raggedy colors, his smile cracked, bleeding from the edges, feeding snakes, not with food, but with his own blood. Each drop a piece of his soul, each hiss a reminder. Why feed the thing that wants to kill you? Why nourish the beast lurking in your own backyard? Because, my dear friend, that's what we do. Every day, we feed the snakes hiding in our minds, in our lives. The toxic thoughts, the toxic people, the silent venom that seeps in. You think ignoring them starves the beast. No. Denial is like salt on a wound. It only makes the snake hungrier. You feed it with your fear, with your anger, with your hesitation, and it grows, stronger, more vicious. The world demands you to feed the snake, with silence when you should scream, with forgiveness when they don't deserve it, with your energy when they only want to drain it. Apologies are crumbs. Attention is the feast. Feeding the snake is the tragic comedy of existence. We pretend to tame the beast by feeding it, but we're just signing our own death warrant. And the worst part, we don't even realize we're the snake's dinner. But there's a choice. You can stop feeding, starve the snake, because the moment you stop, the venom loses its power. The beast withers, and you begin to live. So ask yourself, what snakes are you feeding today? Who's the real killer? The snake or the hand that keeps it alive? Look around. Every snake has a story. Not born venomous, but made so. Toxicity isn't an accident. It's cultivated, grown like a weed, in the cracked soil of fear and pain. Why do we feed the snake? Because the snake feels familiar. It's the shadow we've carried since childhood. The voice that whispered, "You're not enough." The cold touch of betrayal wrapped in a smile. You see, snakes aren't just outside. They slither inside, us too, in the form of toxic thoughts, poisonous self-doubt, and silent rage. The ones that whisper lies in the dead of night. You're broken. You don't deserve better. And sometimes the snakes wear human faces. Narcissists, manipulators, those who drain your life like a leech, feeding off your kindness, your pain, your apologies. They smile while they bite, and you keep feeding, hoping for love, for change, for something real. But love, real love, doesn't feed snakes. It starves them. It's the fear of loneliness, the hunger for acceptance, the addiction to familiar, pain that chains us to the snake. They say it's weakness to walk away, but no. It takes more courage to starve the beast than to feed it. The world is a snake pit, and every system, every institution has played its part in teaching you to feed the poison. Schools that punish difference, religions that preach shame, governments that demand obedience, all feeding the snake to keep you small, to keep you afraid, to keep you silent. And in this broken world, the mirror is cracked. They made sure you never saw your true reflection. Instead, you see a fractured self, blamed for the chaos around you, guilty for the venom inside. But here's the truth no one dares tell you. The snake is not your enemy. The snake is a symptom. The real enemy? The hand that holds the knife. The world that trained you to feed the poison. So what will you do? Keep feeding the snake, watching it grow and devour, or break the cycle? Because once you see the root of the poison, once you recognize the snake's hunger, you hold the power to starve it. I've been feeding snakes all my life, not just the ones in the alley, but the ones crawling inside my own mind. There was a night in Gotham, cold, unforgiving, like the city itself was bleeding, when they caught me. Not with a gun, not with chains, but with words, accusations, shame. They wanted me to apologize, to bow my head and say, "I'm sorry. Sorry for being loud, for being different, for tearing apart their pretty little lies." But that night, I smiled. Not the crooked grin they expect from a clown, but a real raw smile, the kind that cuts through the noise. I wasn't apologizing for how loud I laughed anymore. I wasn't apologizing for how ugly my truth looked on their polished streets. In that smile, I found freedom. Because when you stop saying sorry, when you stop feeding the snakes of guilt and shame, you become unpredictable. A madman with nothing to lose is more honest than a polite man choking on lies. The world wants you to carry their burdens, to wear their chains of guilt like badges of honor. But I ripped mine off, and you can too. You see, feeding the snake is a slow death. It's giving your power away, drop by drop, but refusing to feed it, that's rebellion, that's chaos, and chaos is truth. It's the mirror cracking, revealing the beast beneath the mask. Wild, untamed, alive. So, when they ask you to apologize next time, remember this. Your silence is not weakness. Your anger is not wrong. Your scars don't need to be hidden. Feed. The snakes? No. Starve them, because the moment you stop feeding, you stop dying and you start living. Guilt. A simple word. A deadly weapon. They use it like a puppeteer pulls strings, invisible but powerful. Remember the Milgram experiment? Ordinary people obeying orders, shocking strangers, because someone told them it was the right thing to do. See, guilt is the world's favorite leash. It's the whisper that says, "You owe them." The voice that shouts, "You're wrong." The heavy weight that bends your spine until you're begging for mercy. But who decided what's right? Who holds the leash? They make you feel bad for being different, for standing out, for fighting back, for saying no. They call it justice. But it's just control. Gaslighting, social pressure, toxic manipulation, all poison served with a smile. Narcissists feed on your guilt, twisting it into chains. Systems demand apologies to reset the power balance, to remind you who's really in charge. I see through their games. I play my own now, because the best defense isn't silence, it's chaos. Refuse the apology. Break the cycle. When you stop feeding guilt, you shatter their control. And that's when the venom loses its power. You're not weak for standing your ground. You're a force to be reckoned with. So the next time they try to make you say sorry, remember, it's not about healing, it's about control. And you? You're done playing their game. Look at me. I'm walking through fire, and I don't flinch because I've burned all my bridges, the ones built on lies, on shame, on forced apologies. The world taught me to kneel and say sorry, to shrink, to hide, to silence my chaos. But I stood up, and now they're the ones screaming. No more apologies, no more feeding snakes, no more bending to their venomous games. There's power in defiance, strength in breaking the cycle. You're not broken. You're breaking free. It's a painful rebirth, a dance with darkness and light, chaos and order, madness and truth. So, to those still feeding the snakes, stop, starve the venom, stand in your madness, and walk your own path, unapologetic and alive. Tell me, what snakes have you starved? What chains have you broken? Comment below. Share your story, because in this chaos, we find truth, and in truth, we find freedom.